One Piece Chapter 1049. What will happen after the Battle of Wano? As expected by many readers, One Piece Chapter 1049 saw Luffy's supposed final attack on Kaido come to fruition. Luffy Baijang Gn smashed Kaido fire dragon form and dealt a powerful blow to his face. The force of the punch caused Kaido to fall straight down, creating a large cloud of smoke. Kaido in dragon form when falling created a spiral on the ground. So it seems that the Yonko Kaido has been defeated and the battle between Luffy and the man who is said to be the strongest creature in the world has ended. However, what left the most impression on One Piece fans in the chapter 1049 was that Kaido past was impressively sketched by Oda. The flashback of Yonko Kaido in the chapter 1049 is a colorful picture of a warrior, a pirate with a quote, "Power decides everything." At the age of 10, Kaido has become the strongest soldier in the country, sold by the king to the navy to serve both the government and the navy, in return for the country to receive a ticket to the rivalry conference. But Kaido managed to escape and was wanted for 70 million belly when he was only 10 years old. 5 years later, when Kaido was 50 years old, this young man had admirable strength, was personally invited by the Captain Rocks to join the strongest pirate crew of all time. Many people have praised that with Kaido present, the Rock will become undefeatable. 6 years later, Kaido is now 21 years old and appeared in a classic event at Gold Valley. Here, Rock was defeated by a marine named Garp, but that was not the cause of the defeat of the Rocks. There was an internal conflict within the crew, and Kaido is left in the anger of Big Mom. Kaido past continued with a flashback about 10 years later. At this time, Kaido is 31 years old, invited by Kurozumi to invade Wano. It took 8 years for Kaido to defeat Oden, capture Wano, and officially make the country the domain of himself and the Beast. During this time, Kaido often heard his daughter, Yamato, reminiscing about Joy Boy. Kaido guessed that Oden's goal of opening the country was to welcome Joy Boy. That's why he sees himself as a challenge to Joy Boy. At the present time, Joy Boy, or as we all know by now, Luffy, appeared, defeat Kaido and make him realize that his word to the king in the past has become the truth. The one who defeats me is Joy Boy. True to Kaido's prediction, Luffy, New Age, Joy Boy defeated it. Kaido's body is now buried deep in the ground. Onigashima no longer has Kaido, so it gradually falls. Momonosuke tightened glass, clenching his fist, released a large fire cloud, helping Onigashima to land safely. Luffy, after the extreme One Punch Man, also exhausted his strength, slowly fell to the ground of Wano. From the progress of the current chapter, we can be 100% sure that Kaido has been defeated. The point is, what happened next? According to the last page, the people of Wano still don't know anything about the event out there, probably thanks to law. However, I believe that people of Wano will soon discover what happened to the island of Onigashima and arrive. Momonosuke, now exhausted, returned to his human form, seeing that Momonosuke is so similar to Oden. The people of Wano immediately understand the situation and thought that Momo was the one who saved Wano. But of course, Luffy will also honor later. Everyone is happy that they won, but things don't stop there. One can be seen that CP0 managed to escape before Onigashima fell. Did he run away to inform the Fire Elder? That is a high possibility. After knowing the news, will the Fire Elder let the Marine land in the Wano? The current situation is too chaotic for us to guess, so we'll have to wait and see. But still, I had a small prediction that the Marine would take this opportunity to capture Wano. Up until now, the Marine had always been the one who captured Luffy's opponents, so I guess it will be the same this time. Kaido may have collapsed, but what about Big Mom? Big Mom's crew hasn't appeared yet. They will most likely show up in the next chapter. The Samurai Sign and the Straw Hat was both too tired, so there's no way they can continue fighting. I think that Ming Warrior will appear to protect the Straw Hat if Big Mom's crew attacks. So what about other crew, Law and Kid? Why yes, Luffy is getting closer and closer on his way to become the Pirate King. Kid and Law are being left behind in their way to become the next generation Yonko. Not because they are weak, but because their crew didn't have enough powerful members to help their captain to become a Yonko. About Kid, besides the captain, there is also Lieutenant Killer, who is a strong enough character to compete in a world full of powerful pirates. This character himself also joined other supernova with an impressive performance in the battle with two Yonko, Kaido and Big Mom. However, to become a Yonko, it's not possible to rely on only two people. Looking at the current Yonko, we see that Shang is a pirate crew with extremely strong members and even an army. Meanwhile, Big Mom and Kaido also possess a powerful army divided into many ranks and also have very strong commanders. So if you want to claim to be the king of an area of the sea, it's clear that Kid's crew need to add more new members or build a strong folk member like Big Mom or the Beast. If Kid at least had Killer to share the responsibility, Law's crew didn't have any of this. Up until this moment, almost the entire power of this crew depends on Law. Other members like Beppo have not shown much. Perhaps they were better at saving lives like doctors than participate in combat. But if nothing happened, even though Law power is very strong, it's just impossible to become a Yonko with just one person. Meanwhile, looking at the Straw Hat, we can see the elements of a Yonko crew. Even before joining the battle in Wano, Luffy was praised by many as the new emperor among the five. It can be seen that the Straw Hat have very strong members and continue to grow after the Wano arc. In addition to Luffy, now Sanji, Zoro, Jinbei, Robin and other members are also very formidable. Besides, not to mention Yamato, Kaido's daughter, could also join the Straw Hat in the future. Current Luffy has influence over many countries that help by him. Luffy's current power and strength are too suitable for the power of a Yonko. And again, unfortunately, Law and Kid don't have any of this. Of course, Law and Kid's purpose is different from Luffy's, so it's very possible that after Wano arc, the alliance of three supernovas will part and each will pursue their own goal. Maybe Law and Kid won't become Yonko, but with the strength of these two characters, they will become worthy opponents to Luffy in the future. So what do you think? What will happen in the next chapter 1050? Please leave your comment below.